So, who am I? Well, um, my name is sjofors. I'm called the Price Whisperer, and I'm involved in a lot of business organizations. And of course, I have my new book out there called The Price Whisperer as well. Today, I'm going to talk about profitability and pricing research. Why is this important? Well, I know you know this, but I still want to remind you that it is the profits of a company that keeps the company alive. You know this, right? Okay. And it's if a company that doesn't have profits will eventually die in some way or another. Either investors will get tired of supporting the company and essentially stop supporting the company, and by stopping supporting the company, if the company isn't profitable, it'll die, right? So what does that mean? Well, if a company doesn't have profits and if investors get tired of supporting the company, eventually it will run out of cash. And when you run out of cash completely, there's only a few options. One option is to sell the company, but selling an unprofitable company is kind of hard, right? Shave off maybe the unprofitable portions if there are portions of the company that is profitable, or simply liquidate the company in one way or another, right? And yet most companies out there focuses solely on market research, not the market research, on market share. I talk to CEOs every day, and it's all a matter of it's all a matter of sales volume. They're looking at sales volume solely as the way to drive the company. But obviously, again, you know this. If your sales volume increases, so does your cost. So in fact, not only cost of goods sold, but customer support and maybe deliveries and so forth. So just focusing on sales volume, focusing on is not the only way to look at this, right? You have to look at it from a perspective of profitability. Now, there are obviously some companies that has very, very low profitability and still are being considered very successful. Specifically, I think about Amazon. Amazon have revenues of, I don't know, 17 billion, 19 billion, something like that. A lot of money. And they have a resulting profit margin that is round about less than 1%. 0.75%, maybe 90, 0.9% of a percent. So, very, very little, right? And they are successful. There's no doubt about it. They create a great return for their investors. But should they focus on profitability a little bit more, maybe they will get even greater returns, right? So I wonder why there is this focus on sales volume, and I think it's so easy it's just to consider that it's easy to measure, right? You can see clearly on a weekly, on a daily, on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, where the sales volume go. Profits is a little bit harder. right? Because it's very hard to allocate profits to, or allocate the corporate overhead, I should say, to specific products or specific activities and so forth. But again, but it's a and then companies are focusing their pricing on selling the most they can, which is obviously sales volume, right? And sales volume in the sense that sales volume, they want to maximize sales volume. And I think a lot of it is because companies do not realize, well, I'm saying this, but I know this is gut feel that lives in every executive, but many of these executives doesn't act on it. And the gut feel is very much that we're doing what we can with the resource we have to sell the most. And that's because many of them simply don't have the information on what prices lead to the highest sales volume, what prices leads to the highest revenue, and what prices leads to the highest profitability. So then it's easy to focus on what's easiest to measure, which is, like I said, it's profitability, it's sales volume, not profitability. And it's interesting because why do you want more profits? Well, you want more profits because profits drives every company. It is the profits of a company that allows it to spend more money on market development, having more or better marketing, having the resources to build a better website, right? Having the resources to send off executives to retreats to talk about strategy, and the same executives having the resource to sponsor conferences and so forth, and having these executives to do keynote speeches, to be in the limelight, right? It is even to the point of the company, if they sell through traditional salespeople, to hire better salespeople, because better people will be more expensive. And it's the profitability of the company that will decide if the company can afford the better people or cannot afford the better people, right? It also goes, of course, to product development or service definitions. With more profits, you can develop more products. Or if you import products from China, right, or Taiwan or Vietnam or something like that, you can import more products. That drives higher revenues and higher profits. So you can import even more products. It is that quest for profitability that is often lost in many companies because they just look at sales volume and market share. And with more profits, it may be possible to develop alternative sales channels that you don't have today, right? And obviously running a company focused on profitability is very different than running a company that is focused on market share. Nothing wrong with either, kind of, but I think that profitability, those companies who focus on profitability almost always end up as the high value, high price, high benefit market leaders, right? I mean, obvious example is Apple, right? Their iPhone is not really leading edge technology in any way, but they have the resource to create a mystique around the product, as to support more profitable prices. And I don't have the figures in front of me, but they have some 15% of the US market share of smartphones and generate some 85% or so of the entire category's profits. Globally, I think it's 8% and 90% of the profits. So so and obviously the result is the world's most valuable company, right? Because they focus on profitability, not on market share. They let the other guys duke out the market share battle at meager profits and focused on counting the dollars instead, right? So, and this is where pricing research come in, because when you do pricing research the right way, you get to know what prices leads to the highest market share, the highest sales volume, what prices leads to the highest revenue, and what prices leads to the highest profits, right? And those are different price points. And once you have that data, you can select some products you may want to price for maximum sales volume to defend your position in the market, and some product you may want to price for maximum profitability to reap the benefit of the value that you bring to the market, right? Likewise, pricing research will allow you to focus on the customer category that or customer segment or avatar or persona. They're all the same thing, right? That will support more profitable prices than other market segments. You will know what product features and functions support higher prices and more profits than other functions. You will know what marketing channels and messages and positioning statements and so forth that will support more profits than other channels and messages and so forth. And why wouldn't you take that chance, right? You will also know what sales methodologies and sales channels and so forth would lead to the highest profitability. And of course, you will also know how you can stratify your pricing in such a way that sales friction is minimized and your sales volume or your revenue or your profitability is going to be maximized. So pricing research, when done right, is really a go-to-market strategy for any company who have the desire to take itself to the next level with a complete go-to-market strategy, targeting products, marketing, sales, and price. So it becomes very comprehensive, and it really makes a huge difference. So, all right, that's all for me for this time, and I hope you found this of some value. And I'm looking forward to see you on the next video. Thank you very much.